When I first saw The Wild at Heart, I was immediately reminded of Pikmin. As someone who's played every single Pikmin game, I wanted to see if this indie game could hold its own against the Nintendo giant. Or perhaps it is even better than Pikmin, so let's find out in this review. You begin by playing as Wake, who decides to leave his home and go explore the wilderness behind his house. As Wake currently spends most of his days alone, holed up in his room to escape the complications of his troubled home life. Once in the wilderness, Wake, along with his best friend Kirby, inadvertently stumble into another world. One full of magical creatures, a strange group of people devoted to the forest's protection, and an ancient conflict at a tipping point of chaos. The gameplay loop is very similar to that of Pikmin. It has the same day-night cycle in which it is only really safe to travel during the daylight hours, because once the night encroaches, so do the Never, black figures that will chase you down in the darkness. In The Wild at Heart, you control spritelings, the little magical creatures that each have unique attributes. For example, the yellow spritelings, twiglings, can destroy toxic plants, and the red spritelings, emberlings, can destroy fire and also burn bristles. Eventually, Wake will discover 5 different kinds of spritelings, each with their own talents and weaknesses. During your adventure, you will fight monsters, gather magical items, and open paths to explore new areas. Many areas requiring you to solve basic environmental puzzles to progress. Most of the environmental puzzles require the correct spriteling in order to access the new area. Spritelings can also carry objects if your bag is full, and they will automatically stash what they are carrying into the stash box once you reach a can. The spritelings themselves are rather weak, especially when attacked by other magical creatures that you come across on your adventure. Spritelings can also die easily if you accidentally throw them into an area that they cannot normally access. If you just run up into this area, they will often stop with an exclamation mark or a question mark above their head to indicate that this area is dangerous and that they cannot cross that area. Now, it is relatively easy to amass your army of spritelings, as peppered across the map is magical fruit that you can break. The corresponding coloured pip will drop depending on which spriteling attacked it first, and you can use this at a spriteling well to hatch new ones. Along with the spritelings' unique abilities, Wake and Kirby also have their own tools that are unique in the game. Wake has a vacuum that can suck up various debris or can be used to turn the pinwheels, whilst Kirby has a magical lantern that can drain energy from magical structures. There is a main hub in which you can build new buildings that in turn open up the ability to purchase upgrades. You can also craft meals, potions, and other gadgets at each camp. Although at first all recipes are trial and error, once you've created them for the first time, they will be shown in a second tab on your crafting screen. The music in The Wild at Heart is very subtle. It's consistent of mostly ambient sounds like the gentle sound of water, but when the music does kick in, it has this whimsical feel about it, really alluding to the magic throughout this wilderness in which you found yourself in. I adore this art style, the almost watercolour surroundings with a soft and yet slightly ominous colour palette infused with the brightness of the spritelings, abandoned TVs, and magic throughout. It really comes together in a cohesive package and adds a lot to this game. In my opinion, this Pikmin-inspired game has plenty of heart that helps it really come into its own. I can recommend this game to anybody who's previously played Pikmin and enjoyed it, or anybody who's looking for a light adventure game that never gets too challenging but is still a fun time. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye!